Ladies and gentlemen, if you followed my analysis in yesterday's video, you will have been in a short position from 41.6k. We've seen a breakdown on Bitcoin and we are spiraling downwards, reaching our first target here at 40.8k. I believe we will go downwards even more. And in this video, I will show you exactly where I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the total cryptocurrency market cap will end up by the end of this move. Here are my exact targets for this breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Guys, not to toot my own horn, but in yesterday's video, we literally predicted this drop absolutely perfectly to the T. We predicted this drop before we even broke down from this yellow ascending support line right here. We predicted this drop from 41.9k, I believe, or 42.1k even. And so we've started dropping. We're down 1,200 USD from the original prediction. We said the reason why we would go down is because we broke down yesterday from this ascending RSI support line, and we were the first ones to see it on the entirety of crypto YouTube, I believe, to the best of my knowledge. We saw it on both Bitcoin, Ethereum, total cryptocurrency market cap, all three of those charts breaking down from their RSI support lines. And we know what this has done historically, right? Historically, breaking down from an RSI support has been absolutely catastrophic. It's been brutal for Bitcoin. You know, this is not something we can play around with. If we look at the RSI lines historically, you know, we got a yellow RSI line way back here in 2021. You can see it led to each consecutive correction during the crypto bull market in 2021. We were able to predict every single correction based on this RSI line. Once we broke it to the upside, we started the second leg of the bull market. We went right upwards to 69,000 USD. That's just an example of how important these daily chart RSI resistances and RSI supports can be. And it doesn't just stop at resistance, right? It's support as well. We're looking at, you know, support lines over here with support line right here on the RSI. We broke it down. We saw from the breakdown, a breakdown of this level at 29k, we went right downwards to 24. That's where we started our move in September. We skyrocketed because of that. You know, it's not surprising that after a breakdown from the RSI support on Bitcoin that we've had for, you know, basically since October here, so almost two and a half months, almost 2 months to be precise. It's not surprising that a breakdown from that line has led to this correction. And for me personally, I don't think the correction is over yet. I actually think that this could just be the beginning of the pre-halving correction we'll be talking about on Bitcoin. I think that we're looking at targeting something like 39k to 38.5k as the main target for this move downwards. And I do believe that. And I'm going to get into that in this video. But before we even get into that, I want to quickly clarify, what do I mean by pre-halving correction? Okay, here's what I mean. I've posted many videos. Just look at the titles of my videos in the last couple of days, including the one here a day ago. A crash before the halving. That was the title of the video. Obviously, the word crash is just marketing, and the fact of the matter is it's not going to be a crash in the sense we're going to be bearish macro, but it's just a correction, really. But if we're looking at, you know, monthly chart, Ichimoku Cloud baseline, this is something we've looked at quite extensively as well. We can see that this is something, this red line on the screen here, the Ichimoku Cloud baseline, the monthly chart, has been very definitive in what it means for Bitcoin in terms of direction. When we're below this, we're in a bear market. When we're above it, we're in a bull market. This has been true throughout the entirety of Bitcoin's cyclical history. And as you can see, at the same part of the cycle in 2019 that we are in now in 2023, which is just before the halving, because the halving was in 2020, okay? In 2019, it's just before the halving. Halving's in 2024. We're in 2023. It's just before the halving. Same part of the cycle. You can see that we tested the Ichimoku Cloud baseline for resistance, closed below it after a rapid move to the upside, and saw our pre-halving correction after that close below. We could be doing the exact same thing. In fact, I think it's more likely than not that we are, in that we saw a big move to the upside, 80% rally without correction. We could be closing below this $42,000 level zone, and then seeing a correction because of that. Now, I don't necessarily think that the correction has to look the same. I don't think it needs to last as long. I don't think any of that. What I do know is that that is what this chart suggests. And what I do know, regardless of any, you know, specifics and what the semantics are, what I do know is that if we want to maintain the maximal amount of cyclical predictability on Bitcoin, we want to be maintaining or copying what we've done in previous cycles, the same part of the cycle, because that's where the cyclical predictability can come from. That's where trends can be formed. If we reject from the Ichimoku cloud baseline on this monthly candle close and correct downwards like 2019, then in the next cycle, 4 years from now, we will have two separate data points from this part of the cycle saying we will do that, and we will know at that point that we are very likely to do it again, and we can make some very good money on that in 4 years from now, right? So yeah, I mean, the time frame's big, of course. 4 years from now is very far away. Lots of people don't like to think that long term, but the reality is people in the crypto market are consumed by short-term price action, and the reality is the short-term price action only works in a certain way because the cyclical narrative is there to back it up, okay? So the cyclical theory, the cycle, the long-term trends, they're much more important than what happens in the short term. Whether Bitcoin goes to 48K before correcting or whether Bitcoin corrects now, it means nothing on a cyclical level. What matters on a cyclical level is what happens right now here at this Ichimoku cloud baseline, the monthly chart. That matters on the cyclical level, not the small wick to 48K that everyone wants, that no one will even make money on because they'll be too greedy to even take profits. The fact of the matter is cyclical predictability is what matters, and that's what we want to be looking out for. So with that said, we know that it is probably more likely than not, right? I would say it's the more likely scenario. Bitcoin closes the monthly candle below the Ichimoku cloud baseline. We know that historically we have seen halving corrections before the halving. That's a trend we've had. We know that we've moved upwards, or at least we had until the other day, moved upwards 80% without correction. We know that Bitcoin has seen patterns of exhaustion for in excess of 3 months now, or 2 months now. We know that Bitcoin has bearish divergence in the RSI. With all of this said, the breakdown from this RSI support line that is reflected not only on the Bitcoin chart, but on Ethereum, okay, and on total cryptocurrency market cap, has triggered the start of a correction, in my opinion, including the fact that we've seen a rounding top formation across the charts on Ethereum, on Bitcoin, on total cryptocurrency market cap. I said in yesterday's video, all right, and I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I'm flipping bearish now, because I said in yesterday's video, the fact of the matter is I was flipping bearish when this RSI breakdown occurred. I was flipping bearish when we broke below this yellow support line. I've already been in a short position since 41.6K. All right, we've already reached down to 40.7K. The fact of the matter is the predictions were already made yesterday. If you listened to my video yesterday, you would have been in that short position as well with me. Now we're in a position where we're slightly lower than we were yesterday. Yes, the TA is still bearish. Of course it is, right? It's been a very small correction so far. But, you know, you are entering a high-risk trade because you're not actually entering from the stem of the breakdown. You're entering kind of a bit way through the breakdown. With that said, you know, where do I think Bitcoin will go? So I'm not going to sit here and say, you guys should be getting in shorts right now. No, you guys should have been getting in shorts at 41.6K when we broke down. Okay, that's the reality, right? I'm not going to put myself in a suboptimal position saying, oh, Wolf told me to get into a short at 40.8K. No. I told people a short is favorable at 41.6. So let's just make that very clear. But where do I think Bitcoin is going to go? Well, I think that, as I said, the minimum target realistically. Well, look, we have support at 40K. Okay, yeah, sure, we have support at 40K. That's very valid. We have Ethereum looking at this major red line. We'll make it pink so you can see it. Actually, let me show you what this line is. Ethereum has a major pink support line at around 2,138. Okay, that's a major support line for Ethereum. We're not very far away from that. That will probably line up with Bitcoin reaching 40K, or Bitcoin retesting 40K. But I don't think that's enough of a correction for Ethereum, considering the extent of the move to the upside. I think that Ethereum will be reaching something like 2,000. Okay, specifically 2030. These are not exact predictions, right? These are vague targets. It's very difficult to give exact targets with this kind of thing. I think Ethereum will be reaching something like 2030. I think Bitcoin will be reaching something like this yellow ascending support line, which could be anywhere between, right, 38,500, maybe 39K, something like that. I think that would be a reasonable target for Bitcoin. And total cryptocurrency market cap, I think, will be retesting this yellow ascending support line as well. Those would be the reasonable targets for me. I think there is actually a chance we go even lower than that. But those targets seem reasonable to me, and those are definitely where I'd be strongly considering reevaluating the TA and reassessing the short-term trends and stuff like that. Because, look, this support line right here hasn't broken yet. We haven't even tested it yet. We haven't tested it for in excess of a month now. It would make sense to retest that line. I don't think you'd be very bearish going into a retest of a line like that, especially when it's layered with a macro support below. Look, again, we very well could break below it. It wouldn't be counterlogical, it would actually make quite a lot of sense to break below it, but that's something we need to assess at the time. As of right now, the only targets I can really give for this move, with any degree of, confidence really, is a retest of something like that line. As I said the numbers just then, 38.5k to 39k, something like that would make a lot of sense to me. Unless we see something happen in the short term here, that would make a lot of sense to me. Unless this moves a fake out, that would make a lot of sense. But overall, right now, we are finding support on 40.8k, which was our first target from the breakdown. Again, we entered on the yellow breakdown. This was our first target. That was technically a take profit. Another take profit would be something like 40k. I just think, given the scale of this breakdown and given historically what we've seen, the velocity of this move should realistically take us down further. Something like this yellow line. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to assess that move as it progresses over the next couple of days, and we'll definitely keep you kind of educated or informed of what's going on. So keep an eye on this channel, subscribe, click the notification bell on so you can see what I've got to say about an update on this move. Obviously, I was the one that perfectly predicted this move, and so I'm obviously going to keep you updated on the progressions of the move. One more thing I want to discuss as well is the golden cross coming in on Bitcoin on the weekly chart as a bit of a complicating factor. Golden cross, first ever weekly chart golden cross, which is a line a cross between the 200-week SMA and the 50-week SMA, which is technically a bullish thing, but we've never seen it before, right? The death cross we saw, which is the opposite, we saw a death cross over here. It stemmed from 25k, we went right down to 19k within a matter of a couple weeks there, so it did actually play out quite bearishly. We do have reason to believe the golden cross will play out bullish, but we do also know it's kind of layered in uncertainty because we've never seen it before. But I want to inform you that that should not happen in this upcoming week. It should be next week, so 14 days away. So we've got time to move downwards before anything like that occurs. And that would actually bring us towards the end of the month anyway. So by the time this golden cross plays out, we will have closed the monthly candle. And so it's not really going to be much of a complicating factor in terms of the Ichimoku Cloud baseline of the monthly chart, I don't think. But again, that's something we'll have to keep analyzing, keep assessing as we head closer towards the date. I do also know with golden crosses and death crosses, sometimes the move will precede the actual action itself. So perhaps this move itself was actually a result of the golden cross coming in. People predicted it was going to happen, and hence they bought before it even occurred. And perhaps when it occurs, it'll be a sell the news event. And that's the problem with moving average crosses. You never really know. Another thing is the ETF decision. I've spoken about this so extensively. I'm probably boring you by bringing it up again. ETFs are having their final deadline on the 10th of January. Guys, I think the ETF decision is very important, of course, obviously, but I don't think it's as likely. Look, I think the ETF will be approved. That's my opinion. I do think it will be approved. I think it's more likely than not to be approved, but I don't think it's a guaranteed pump like people say it is. Okay, and ETF approval does not line up with the ETFs being released into the market. The day the ETF's approved, there will be no buying orders coming in from the ETF. They'll have to set them up. They'll have to, do all that, and it'll take probably a month for them to come out, maybe more. I don't know how long it will take exactly, but I'm just saying everyone's expecting, the ETF's going to get approved, and as soon as they're going to get approved, there's going to be massive buying influx to Bitcoin. No, there's not. No new buying will come in on the day of approval from the ETF itself. The only buying and selling that will happen will be retail buyers and sellers selling and buying based in the news. And let's be real, the vast majority of this move to the upside has probably been fueled by ETFs. Everyone who knows about the ETFs already has already bought based on it potentially being approved. There will be no one left to buy when it's released. That would be a sell event. That's just my logic around it. Now, of course, if we correct downwards before the event and we flush people out, etc., and then it occurs, we can go upwards. But as of right now, there's no real reason to believe at all that the ETF news itself will lead to a massive pump on Bitcoin. There's no reason to believe that at all, actually. It's completely speculative. So I want to break that narrative that YouTube is giving people right now. It's not as simple as that at all. Again, as I said, ETF will definitely lead to long-term buying pressure on Bitcoin. From big players who are buying through the ETF, but the immediate short-term result of the news probably isn't going to be as bullish as people think, because everyone who's bought in the last 3 months has bought based on the speculation that result will occur, right? So it's already priced in. Now, again, a correction before the result, a correction before the news is released could change the inevitable outcome of the result. We'll have to assess it as it comes closer, but right now, I want to make it very clear. This kind of massive narrative going around that the ETF news itself is going to lead to 100k Bitcoin within 24 hours is absolute bullshit. So get it out of your mind. Guys, all right. Thank you for watching. I don't want to keep you for too long. This video came out actually quite shortly after the last one. Last one was only 15 hours ago. So I make it a quick one here today. Before we end it, if you appreciate the analysis, if you value my accuracy, go to the Telegram VIP group information page. Check out the information about VIP group. We give equally accurate altcoin signals on a sub-daily basis. We just posted one an hour ago. We've got an 80.5% win rate. Absolutely exceptional accuracy there. Fully transparent results in a PDF format. Free trial, pricing information. Everything you need is there to make a sign up if you want to. We then have 2 exchanges. If you want to take trades, for example, which you'll need to do at some point, right, if you're in this market, otherwise you're just a spectator. Bingx and the Bingx and Bitget exchange are the exchanges I've handpicked for trading. They've both got very low trading fees. They've both never been hacked before. They've both got protection funds in case they are hacked. Bingx is global, non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world. And Bitget is global KYC minus the USA. My referral links for those exchanges are down below for a 15% trading fee discount for life. So get even cheaper fees for the already low trading fees with my referral link down below. We've then got the Crypto Academy Become a Trader 10-unit course. If you want to learn how to trade, you want to learn how to analyze charts, find coins you want to trade, everything you need to know is in this course. You can check out the full information on the website, and our email contact address is there as well to ask us any questions and also to request information or payment information, whatever it may be. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.